TV network. Now the largest new media platform on the web and your #1 source for after-show entertainment.
The AFTERBUZZ Studios in Los Angeles, California. Presented by Maria Menounos and Bing.com and streaming live thanks to Akamai Technologies. This is AFTERBUZZ TV's The Following After Show. We'll break down tonight's episode and get you all the latest news and gossip. And now, another post-game wrap-up show for your favorite TV show. It's AFTERBUZZ TV's The Following After Show.
Well, Bing is for doing, and we will be doing a special interview from The Following. We're here with Steve Monroe. Steve Monroe!
Hello.
AKA,
hello.
AKA Officer Jordy, AKA Glass Joe or Bowser, depending on whatever analogy you would like to use for a 1980s video game. We're very excited to have Steve with us. I'm joined, as always, by Joe Braswell from Grantland and Grantland with ESPN.com and Extra.
Yes, with you too bumping. I will follow. Doesn't sound like that.
No, not at all?
Nothing like that.
Whatever, dude. I don't really care how it sounds.
It is a rich, velvety voice, though, that you have.
Do you like that?
Oh,
you should hear it, Sean Connery.
Right. Somebody thinks somebody thought this was a put on. I'm like, I was born this way. This is how I talk. I don't care if you like it or not. We're also joined by Nando Velasquez, formerly of Attack of the Show.
Yes, hello there.
The great Nando Velasquez.
Ah, thank you.
I think you're great.
I think you're
all
great.
All right, two out of three is not bad, right?
He's all right.
Look at you. I'm not giving it that. No.
He's great.
You got to earn it. You got to earn it.
I have only just met you, but I do express my gratitude to you for inviting me.
Oh, well, I acknowledge that. Thank you very much for coming. I'm really honored to have you here. So
thank you.
Thank you so much for coming down. We're very excited. We've been excited about this character since day one, or since we knew about him. We've been talking about Jordy. We've had lots and lots of comments. Everyone, I'm sure you've heard a couple of them. So we will ask you those specific questions as it relates to what we thought while we were watching the show. But before we get into that, let's ask about The Following. We're 9 episodes deep. Are you still watching?
I am. You know, after episode 3, it's pretty irrelevant.
That's
but it's good.
it's just a chore now, just to turn it on. It's like, all right, I'll watch it.
I turn it on because my photo's in the back of, you know, every episode where they're like got their little, they're
the X through it, right?
They're like the X through it.
What's the reading on that? Do you get paid if you got a photo on there? Yeah.
I don't know.
I'm gonna make some calls. I'll make some calls. We'll take care of it. I know some people.
Heavily influenced. Joe's got a lot of influence. So you're watching the show. We're at episode 9. What do you think about? I mean, first of all, we talk a lot about the level of followers. You know, unfortunately, when we talk about where the followers started and where they ended, where they are now, we start with Jordy, who was sort of, you know, not the smartest guy.
I heard dim-witted kicked around.
Maybe
Village Idiot.
Yeah, Village Idiot was used repeatedly.
He's a puppy, which I thought was really
up
touching.
to,
and there was puppy murder.
And there's high-tech paramilitary guys.
Yes.
So,
but you have to admit he was a trailblazer. He was at the very beginning, the genesis of The Following.
You always remember your first.
Right. Let me say this.
First. There you go.
You were the first man I've ever seen choke out on gauze. In my life, I've never seen it. I don't expect to ever see it again.
You know what, though? As I understand it, there has been a documented suicide by gauze.
So that's legit.
Marcos Ciega shared that with me, that it is legit.
Wow.
So all right, that is a question I have
don't know the specifics of it. I think it was in a prison or a psychiatric ward of some kind.
Because I remember thinking to myself when I watched it, I thought, that's BS. There's no way.
No, I think it's real.
So somebody actually ate themselves to death on gauze.
I believe so.
Wow.
You happy now?
I don't know if I'm
satisfied?
happy. I'm more disturbed than I was a while ago. But
I am trusting Marcos, the director's take on that, though. His credibility is at stake here, not mine.
Well, you know what's going to happen is people are going to look it up now. People are going to be like, all right, I'm on it.
But it's like a cross-examination.
There needs to be.
You're like Tom Cruise in A Few Good Men.
You can't handle the gauze.
You tell me that people have actually...
Well, you have to admit, even Jordy doing that was a really desperate move and something nobody could see themselves doing, but you figure someone has to be really, really screws loose to do that.
It looked really hard.
Yeah.
I recommend it with a side salad.
Maybe some Tabasco sauce.
So yeah, what's the nice, Marissa.
We'll get in that later, but I really want to get to your impressions of the show.
Yes.
I really want to know. It's our job to follow the following, and how far ahead did you know? We talked to Aiden Canto last week, and he told us he knows everything through the end. How much do you know? Do you know how this thing's going to end? Did you know anything after episode 3? Where were you?
Quite honestly, I knew very little. I knew episode by episode up to episode 3. I did not know what was going to happen in episode 3 until episode 3.
Oh no! So let me jump back to that, which is what we always ask. We talked to Valerie Curry. She talked about the fact that you get the script sometimes the day before or really late, so you're kind of thumbing through them and trying to find out if you die or not. What was that day like for you? Did you?
I thumb through it and see, do I have any kissing scenes?
I need some ladies.
Exactly. When do I get in the shower?
Right?
And if I do, I ask that they be cut. No. It's strictly episode by episode.
Right.
And then I don't know what's going to happen. But I do have opinions about what's happening.
Well, I want to get to that, but I want to jump back. When did you find out that you were going to have Death by Gauze?
The day of the read-through.
Oh, no.
Really?
At the table? You're all at the table, and you get to the back, and you're like, wait a minute.
I stand corrected. I think during the episode of, during the filming of episode 2, Marcos came up to me and told me that I had a pretty exciting death scene.
Oh, wow.
And alluded to the gauze choking scene.
And did you know that you were on a 3-episode arc, or were you bummed, or were you like, oh, okay, well, that's a good round?
I was bummed. I was originally on for 4, but I must have misbehaved or something on set.
Wow.
Oh, you were so good that they just you just did your job so good that you did it in 3. Like, I can name that note in 5 notes. I can name it in 4 notes.
I love how you framed that. Yes. It is beautiful, and
he is such an efficient actor. He's nailed every piece of everything he needs to do.
We don't need these other 5 scenes.
I communicated everything. I told my story. My chapter.
You did.
In 3 notes.
No, the irony is that we have you this week, but and this week was bringing back the whole going after Claire Matthews thing, and then we had what was the girl's name that created the story?
Amanda Porter.
Amanda Porter. Now we
called her Jordy too, more or less.
She's good.
Yeah, she was, huh?
She was great. My wife made the comment that she and I would have been good together.
Actually, the 2 of you? I agree with that. I can agree with that.
Our psychoses were very
that's what
compatible.
Yeah.
You know?
You both thought you got to kill Claire Matthews, and neither of you did.
Yep.
Yeah. It was a special time.
Yeah, her scene with Ryan Hardy was very similar to yours, I felt. And it was all about Claire.
Absolutely. And she handled it with real... she was very animated in a way that kind of liked her. You kind of liked her psychosis. It was like, yeah, that's... Sure.
That's
Jordy would hang out with her.
Yeah.
They'd have coffee.
Eat some gauze with it. Who knows? You never know.
A side of gauze, sure.
So up to now in these episodes, have you been surprised? I mean, how are you feeling about the show? I mean, obviously we all love it. I'm assuming we love it. But are you jumping? Are you surprised? Are there twists and turns? Are you?
Absolutely. No, I find it very compelling, and I'm still tuning in, despite the death of the most relevant character.
Right.
But I'm pleased that before each commercial break I get a good death in.
Yes.
That really brings a newfound hope to my own life. It's not as tragic or terrifying as the show.
No,
I say that kind of facetiously, but it's life affirming to see terror on TV to then revisit home life, which is, gosh, it's poetic. It's beautiful. No, which, in all seriousness, I feel very blessed. So, so to see that and juxtapose it with the beauty of my life is great. But on the show, I find it very compelling, and I don't know which way Kevin Williamson has written it. I do come to expect some kind of twist or turn before each commercial break, but what I'm most intrigued in finding out is how Kevin Williamson is going to write the ending. because the followers are so vacant. There's something so bankrupt in their souls that I'm having a real question in my mind as to how Joe Carroll has any respect for them.
Well, I don't think he does. If you watch the last few episodes, he's like, oh, I lost 5 men. I don't care.
He's totally playing them, and I wouldn't be surprised if maybe he just ignites some kind of bomb that blows up the whole house there. I don't know. He probably just destroys his followers.
There is a level of contempt and not respect. I do get that borderline. I think we touched on that how there seems to be like a level of like the followers are here, but he doesn't necessarily respect them all.
I think he is reviled by their dependence on him.
Interesting.
Their sick devotion and dependence on him invites his revulsion, but he is suppressing that to get his
overarching thing done.
Yeah.
Wow, I like that.
So when he's done with them, he may detonate the whole mansion.
Yeah, I think that's the way it'll go. I don't know.
Right.
So let me ask you this. I mean, you were kind of like the first kid out at the spelling bee. You know, like you're the first kid to sit down, but now you're seeing everybody else is coming out. So that's kind of, like you're the first one to sit. You're like, oh, but at least I got to play. But
that's one way to put it.
You know,
he got out on an easy word. That's what you're saying too. He got out on a very easy word.
He got out on spell them. Oh shit. Everybody since then we seem to be going toward like this whole idea that everybody wants their death to mean something. Did Jordy did Jordy want his death to mean something?
Absolutely. I think Jordy's death meant that for a moment people paid a little attention
to Jordy
in a life that was otherwise bankrupt of any attention. I think if maybe Joe Carroll heard of my method of suicide, then maybe that would have lent meaning to an otherwise meaningless life.
Right.
That is depressing.
Right. That's Jordy talking right now.
That's Jordy. Yeah, obviously. So, I know Joe's reaction was pretty. He was impressed. I think he said that was impressive, didn't he? Wasn't that his reaction?
Yeah.
Yeah. I think was he?
I think he was impressed. Yeah. I mean, let's be honest. Eating yourself to death on gauze, that is impressive. I don't care who you are.
Not as impressive to me though. In that same episode, first of all, just to touch back on that episode particularly, which was I did a fantastic performance, by the way. I like from top to bottom. That last scene with Kevin Bacon, we all said at the time, was really great. You really got to see Joy. It wasn't, there's a moment there where it could have been a little over the top, or it could have been played a lot of different ways, and really bought into it being sincere and terrifying, and really did not know what was going to happen. But you and Kevin Bacon did a fantastic job there. I want to get that out of the way. So.
Well, I will take that. Thank you. As someone who's more a comedian, that was one of the most dramatic scenes I've ever played.
Yeah.
So I appreciate that. Thank you. And I have to send a shout out to Kevin Bacon, who just is a very generous actor, very understated, which works for him because he's Kevin Bacon.
Right. It's cool.
But he taught me things.
Good.
Just by virtue of being as understated as he is.
Yeah. He's doing all right. I think he's going to do something interesting. I think he's eventually going to make
a good career. This Kevin.
Yeah, I think he'll be okay.
Well, and I went up to Kevin, and I asked Kevin. I said, Kevin.
That is his name. That's right.
It's his name.
If you started with Bob,
Kevin,
it'd be weird.
I bet you're wondering what it is I did to prepare for my suicide scene, Kevin.
And what did he say?
He said, Steve, I really was wondering, how did you prepare for that? Because I've studied with the best. and I said, Kevin, what I do, it's a very simple method. What I do is I think of something very painful from my past.
Ooh, all right, I'm listening.
I think of a time when maybe some kids teased me, or I missed lunch, or I got a bad grade.
Or kids teased you while you were missing lunch after you got a bad grade.
Absolutely.
Trifecta.
Absolutely. And then I listened to Krista Berg's Lady in Red. And then if those two things don't work to reach that peak of emotion, I punch myself in the balls.
Punch in the balls.
Right.
Here's the kicker. They did all of that just by looking at each other. It was telepathic.
You're telling me there was no verbal exchange? That was all done.
That was all
I got you.
Internalized.
Subtextual.
Exactly.
And Kevin studied, I found out, at the same school of ball punching.
I didn't even. I feel like a fool. I spent all these years.
Juilliard is irrelevant.
You're an actor, Joe.
Northwestern is irrelevant.
Hold on, I'm writing it down.
Okay.
Punch in the ball. You got to let me write these things down. Don't rush
Joe's
me.
an actor. This is a master class for him.
Let me see if I understand this. Now, if you go through 5th, 6th, 7th take punching yourself in the balls, when does it stop being effective? At what point do you cross the threshold where punching yourself in the balls is no longer an effective
When does the
motivation?
law of diminishing returns take effect?
Yeah.
When the checks don't clear.
There it is.
Ladies and gentlemen, if you didn't write down what Steve said, you are fools.
Oprah's master class is nothing on us right now. We're learning a lot here. But
This is like a TED Talk.
in that in that scene that you was so masterfully played, I believed every moment of that scene.
Go on.
Except for the moment where you did the ninja move and you came out of the ceiling.
Yeah.
I had problems with that.
You did?
I didn't think Jordy was capable of doing that move. What do you think? Was that? First of all, was that you?
I'm not going to tell you.
For those
Which
of you
is an
listening,
answer in and of itself.
Second of all,
You know, to be honest, I could have done that move.
Okay.
Jordy could have done that move. The shirt was blousy.
okay.
It rode up on me, and the camera adds 10 pounds.
Sure.
And by virtue of the camera angle, it featured my triple chin action.
I see.
You see what I'm saying? I'm more athletic than I appear on screen.
Listen, no one's doubting athleticism, but I think Joe's pointing out that when you dropped from the ceiling, you dropped with the stealth.
It was
of
very
a man
Tom
who
Cruise
weighs
Mission
114 pounds.
Yeah.
I will respect that.
The poor the beat cop, the FBI.
Yeah, good-looking B cop outside.
Yeah.
The red shirt 101, like
Walking
Captain
the
Red
hallway,
Shirt.
checking things out, and then you're silently drop.
That was pretty smooth.
I can respect that criticism.
Okay.
Now, one of the scenes that
still scary though.
I just want to move on a little bit. One of the scenes that you didn't do directly, but I think is one that everyone still associates with you, and I'm sure maybe you even get some comments about it, is just the fact that Jordy liked to practice on puppies.
Yeah.
That was probably one of the biggest moments in the pilot, I think, that got a lot of people talking.
As an actor, I had no problem with that. I'm a sensitive cat lover, so. But, yeah, it's disturbing. Animal cruelty is not something that's going to win the affections of an audience.
No, it's not.
It speaks to something missing from Jordy's childhood.
Right.
That would be puppies.
Apparently.
That's right. I wanted a puppy,
Right,
Dad.
damn it.
Dad, why didn't you get me a puppy?
This is bullshit. I'm killing some. That's it. You know what? It's funny though. We got so many comments about it. How could they kill the puppies? We're like, they killed people too, right? No, but the puppies.
Well, that's that John Ashmore line. Weston said, "I'm okay with human deaths, but you kill a puppy, and I'm gonna come at you."
Well, we talked to both Valerie and Aiden about walking around the real world as a follower and having people. Valerie talked about going to her favorite coffee shop and wives clutching their husbands, and there she is. And Aiden told a story about a woman in an elevator who were afraid of him. Did you have any of those moments that people see Jordy and see you as Jordy and get afraid, and or did people get pissed because you're this cat and puppy killer?
Yeah. They're disturbed by it and by me.
So, any anecdotes? If I was walking down the street and someone said, "F off, Jordy."
Well, it's an odd kind of, oh, you're on TV and you're terribly freaky. So you get this like, oh, thank you, but wait, what? So it's
leaning in and leaning out at the same time.
Yeah.
On TV. Oh, but I don't like you.
Yeah, exactly. It's this dichotomy of come closer but stay away. And a woman came up to me outside of a restaurant and said, "Oh my gosh, you were on The Following, and you were so creepy." And she's clutching her children so tightly.
Now take a picture with him, kids, but don't touch him.
And I just want to add, because we learned this about you, and I think it's amazing that you have another career, aspiring career, as a marriage counselor.
That's right.
So is it kind of weird? Has anyone noticed you from that show too? And here you are, counseling a marriage when Jordy is busy wreaking havoc.
Yes, they have a couple of my clients have noticed, and they've been very gracious, and I am very quick to delicately turn the focus back to my clients, because the less about me, the better. The more it's about them. And what is interesting is that I carry into my practice the same kind of non-judgment I use as an actor towards these evil characters. You have to extend to the characters who do evil things a sense of empathy. And the empathy that I carry as an actor is something that serves me as a therapist. Wow. I can put myself in the shoes of my clients who seem to be struggling with any number of things, and not only is the commonality of empathy, but it's a character study between actor and therapist. So there's common ground, and the beauty of doing both is that as an actor, it's about me, but as a therapist, it's about my clients, and I get to invest in the world of some really remarkable people.
I really like what you said about empathy. I think that's, it's funny when you are acting, you really do. You can't judge your character, because otherwise you can't play him. You're not even, at that point, you're not being real.
Well, then you're judging him, and it becomes a caricature.
Absolutely. You detached yourself. And I love what you said about bringing it to other things, and I think that's, I love the way you put that, Steve. You're a beautiful, poetic man.
Well, thank you. I try not to judge the pregnant woman in the parking lot who's smoking, because I don't know if her brother's head just got blown off and overseas.
Yeah.
Right.
I don't know what her struggle is.
Right.
Is she smoking and she's gosh, that's terrible. But you know what? I don't know what horror she has seen.
She might just be trying to lose weight in 1951. That's entirely possible, because they prescribed that for a long, long time. I
don't know the horror that homeless man has been through.
That's it.
Well, when we had Valerie Curry, and I was asking her about her character, she mentioned that sometimes she felt she had to defend her character to people who came up to her and said how scary her character was, or how evil she was. Do you find yourself ever talking to someone about Jordy and you feel the same way, because you were him, you played him, that you see the softer side of him?
I do. Mm-hmm. I feel like, you know what? This kid grew up in a home where his parents beat the crap out of each other, and him. What was modeled for Jordy growing up but abuse and terror? You don't know that he had to have lived in just abject terror growing up, right, to then perpetrate the kind of violence he did in his adult life,
right. Absolutely. Jordy, well, it's just, I want to go back to the therapy things. I think it's fascinating. It takes a while to, in school, there's a lot of schooling involved in becoming a therapist at your level. There's also a lot of time involved in becoming an actor at this level. I just want to know which came first. Was it the acting, or was it the need to get into therapy? I mean, which?
That's a good question.
Which came first, and how were you down one road and decided you fell in love with acting? Were you acting and decided you fell in love with this career?
Sure. I'll tell you, acting came first, then reality TV, scripted projects were cut in half for actors, so I pursued both.
Right. Exactly.
So I'm an actor and a therapist.
Got it.
Does that make sense?
That completely. That makes sense. And now you have both.
Yeah.
So that's fantastic.
And I just feel so blessed to be able to do both.
Right.
So
one of the things that we remember you from, that our audience may remember you from as well, which we love, is your Tabasco commercial, which is Joe's favorite thing.
I got to tell you, man, when I first saw you, the first episode I saw you, I was like, oh, Tabasco, and everybody's like, what? I'm like, nah, it's a Tabasco with the pizza and and everybody's like, what are you talking about? And I'm like, Jordy is the guy from the Tabasco commercial. You're with the, and everybody's like, dude, you're an idiot. And I'm like, no, I'm telling you. And when finally got clarification, I was like, you damn right.
You're right.
I know, damn right. That commercial, I'm thinking, I don't know if they had a limited budget, what they had going. I have no idea what Tabasco's ad budget was at that time.
Well, I'll tell you, it's the beauty and brilliance of that commercial is largely attributable to the visionary Dick Buckley, who's a remarkable director.
Yeah?
Who, with a limited budget, did just great things.
I mean, he blew my mind. And still, as an actor and as a guy...
The mosquitoes might have to.
And I just thought that was so brilliant, and it stuck with me. How many, was that 2004 you did that? Something like that?
No, you want to know when I did it? 96.
You're kidding.
Wow.
It's 16 years old.
Wow. No doubt. And there it is, still in my brain.
Well, this is
Dick,
why.
what's his name?
Dick Buckley.
Dick Buckley.
This is why.
Well done, Dick Buckley.
I was one of the ones who said that is not him, and I was very surprised. A good pull by you, Flippo, because I was like, that's not the guy.
I'm from New York. We don't do Tabasco over there, I guess, because I've never seen a Tabasco commercial.
No, that was. Yeah, so that was an issue for me, but it is here.
There it is. Oh, there we go.
Look at that. Look at that Tabasco. Watch. Here comes the mosquito in a second. I love this commercial.
Is it play-by-play?
No, wait. Mosquito's going to land on his leg.
People listen on iTunes. You got to do play-by-play, right?
That's true.
All right, so now the mosquito's landing on Steven's right leg. It has now injected itself. It is sucking Steven's blood. It is now flying away. It just exploded. And Steven smiles, the satisfied grin of a man whose blood runs with Tabasco.
Brilliant.
That was a great explosion. It was like a Death Star type explosion.
so much.
I do love that explosion.
Thank you, Marissa. Thank you for finding that. I would never, watching that, I would never in a billion years still. I would still say that's not you. So that's great.
Despite all evidence to the
I still don't believe it.
Good on Sanfelippo.
No, that's good. It's a very, very funny commercial.
Now, did that open up some doors for you? I'm guessing it did.
Yeah, it did. It opened up a number of doors.
Was that your first big?
And they all abruptly closed.
And then there was a second one.
They all abruptly closed.
No, was that your first big national commercial, or did you have a couple before?
No, I had a couple before that, which escaped my memory, but that's a big calling card for me, along with Miss Congeniality.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
I played Frank Tobin, the man who puts a bomb, the pervert who puts a bomb on the crown.
That's right.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Those are the other calling cards, but and then the other doors. Tuck in your shirt, Frank. That's right. Yeah. Good.
That's our producer Marissa. She's so smart. I don't know why she's not out here. I don't know why she tolerates us talking.
Nice pull, Marissa. So, wow, I missed that too. I thought I knew everything.
Yeah, well, apparently you don't know everything. I hate to break it to you.
So, bring this last thing. So, what about back to The Following, and then we'll get back to you. What do you think is next? What do you think? What can we expect from these last few episodes? I mean, we're at episode 9 now. We see where this place is. Where do you think? You mentioned Joe. What Joe might be thinking or where it's going. But where do you think this is going to end? They talked a lot about Kevin and James Purefoy and Kevin Williamson talked a lot about filming the finale, and there were tears, and it was dramatic, and it was it was all this talk about how intense the finale was. So I'm wondering, what do you think is going to happen? I don't know.
My guess is there's going to be more flashback scenes that give you some kind of sight into the lives of some of the followers, that give you some kind of understanding where their soul died, so that you can have some empathy. Because if it's as black and white as they're just evil and the FBI's good, and it won't be as compelling. There has to be some interplay of good and evil, much like the kind of tragically flawed nature of Ryan Hardy. There has to be some kind of, that's why they're doing such bad things. I get that.
Right.
And I hate that I get that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's some level of empathy, right?
That's a good point, because I mean, with all the paramilitary people we're seeing, but like for example, Louise and Charlie, who died in the past couple of weeks, we didn't get to see any flashbacks with them, but they were very gung ho. But every single character we've been able to attach with, as far as a follower, has had a story, has had a flashback, including Jordy a little bit. Although you know, now that I think about it, you were in 4 episodes because you had a flashback in the 4th episode.
Did he?
Yeah. He had a flashback in the 4th episode, the one with Maggie with post fire, after he was gone.
Oh.
I feel like you were in 4. You were in the pilot. You were in the pilot, and you were in 3 after that. I think.
Yeah, my bank account doesn't show that.
According to mine.
I'll make some calls.
There was a flashback scene in episode 3.
After you were dead, there was. Oh, okay. I thought there was one after you were gone.
Where we're in the fort with Valerie and Paul and Jacob and.
You're right. You're absolutely right.
It comes in, but
he would know.
No, you know what? He would know. He would know. I could have sworn there was one after, but I'm guessing there's no other. Is there a chance that Jordy can make another flashback?
Well, I think season 2 needs to be maybe like The Proceeding.
Yes.
Right.
Where we get
those 8 years in jail.
Yeah, because I facilitate his escape from prison.
Yeah.
Listen, without you,
We got to find out about how that happened.
How did this village moron end up doing all this remarkable stuff online?
Well,
Exactly.
On the interwebs.
How the worldwide interweb? How is it that he could be such a dimwit, but also be so smart?
I don't understand.
And yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Well, Joe Carroll owes a lot to Jordy because, like you said, I mean, you're the guy. You get him out. You get the ball rolling.
You started the ball.
You started the thing. You're the first guy to really engage Hardy and really sort of F with him in a way that still is with him today. So a lot is owed to Jordy here from
Jordy is a trailblazer, a real trailblazer, a visionary, you know?
A man ahead of his time.
Yeah. Absolutely.
A man ahead of his time.
Oh, I thought you said a butthead of his time. No. That too, and that's okay.
He was a Renaissance man masquerading as a moron, but underneath.
It was an act.
Yeah, I know. We see that.
So what's next here for Steve? I mean, you know, Jordy's not going too much further. We know.
You said.
I think Jordy.
You think that might be dead end?
Yeah.
You said you do comedy? You do stand up or do you?
Well, I do comedic roles.
Gotcha.
Typically.
Okay.
But
You do the occasional improv show.
I do improv.
Yeah, cool. Where do you do improv?
I've done some appearances or an appearance at I.O. West.
Oh, cool.
Oh, very cool.
And work with
That's how we
troupe
got
there.
Yeah, that's how we ended up meeting up.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
At I.O.?
A remarkable improv group named Minnesota Nice, who have kindly asked me back, which I would love to. So that's where you may see me.
Do you have a date?
I don't have a date yet. They've extended an open invitation for me to come back, so I'll be on stage at I.O. West doing some more of that.
Well, if they do it
fantastic.
within the next month or so, while the following's on, we'll be sure to promote it for you if you want.
Yes.
That would be awesome.
Yeah.
We can tell the tens of people that listen to this show that. No,
Slightly more than
slightly more than that. We do all right. So what have you got coming up? Has you got anything else coming up?
I am on a video release of The Little Rascals as the mailman.
Oh, all right, all right.
Which so they're doing a sequel to the theatrical release as a straight to video release of The Little Rascals.
No, it's just a straight to video release of the original TV series.
Oh wow, that's exciting.
I wish
Love
I had
Little
something
Rascals.
more exciting to promote than that.
No, I love. But I
What
love
I
Little
will
Rascals.
promote is what I have coming up next is visiting my wife and daughter at home.
Oh, very. How old's your
They
daughter?
are my best and most important productions.
How old's your daughter?
11 months.
Wow.
Congratulations.
Yeah, congratulations.
Thank you.
Wow.
It's-
Yeah, that's Marissa. I told you she's smarter than us. I don't know why she tolerates this. So you had to have been kind of becoming a dad while the shooting was going on.
You know, it's funny you mentioned that. In March, when we were shooting the pilot, I didn't know if I had to run home because my wife was 9 months pregnant.
Wow.
I was waiting by the phone between takes, between killing puppies, to see if my wife was giving birth.
Jeez, I mean, you're choking on gauze 1 minute, next minute you're helping people pick up gauze.
I
and
know, right?
clogs them.
Exactly.
Well, this has been a lot of fun, Steve. Thank you for coming by. Can we have some more applause for Steve? See, that's I love.
Joe, and Nando, and Marissa, thank you so much for having me. I'm really grateful to have been in your studio and had the opportunity to chat with you. So thank you.
Thank you for. And the next thing you have, next time you have something coming up, please drop us a note.
You know what? I certainly will. Thank you so much.
All right. Well, thanks you guys for joining us. This has been our interview with Steve Monroe, who was a rock star who died early on. Jordy, rest in peace. And we will see you guys next Monday. This is Joe Braswell with me, Nando Velasquez. Nando, where can we find you, sir?
You can find me on Twitter at Nando Vel.
Joe Braz, where can we find you, sir?
Twitter at Joe K. Braswell.
Steve, do you do the twitting?
I don't twit. I'm on Facebook. You can see my fan page under Steve Monroe. There's a picture of the Tabasco commercial.
Excellent. And you can Tabasco's up there. And you can find me at Joe Flippo on Twitter. Have a beautiful week, you guys. We'll see you on Monday.
From Bing.com, executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.